1960s protest movements other than African American civil rights movement. Of course, that's the big one. But now, something to consider is civil rights is all of these things, and so these are things they could bring up in state tests. They could ask you to compare any of these groups to the more well-known movement of Dr. King. So let's try to look for common themes as we talk about this, okay? Now, this first part we're going to talk about is nothing about, it's called the second sexual revolution. The first sexual revolution would be the one of gaining voting rights and things like that. But as we looked in the 1950s, the cult of domesticity has returned. Women are expected to be in the household. However, the baby boomers who were born after World War II take on a new mentality. Now, the book that kind of sparked this was by Betty Friedan. It's called The Feminine Mystique. A mystique is something that you're attracted to and you don't really know why. It's a mystery, okay? But basically, in short, women have this certain je ne sais quoi in French, right? That you are, that makes them unique. And so they're going to start fighting here for equality. Big thing in the 60s were equal pay, and then later they pushed for total gender equality. And so we'll see how that transpires. The first movement we have is called the Modern Women's Liberation Movement. Now, a liberation is freedom, correct? What they're wanting is they want freedom, they're wanting equality, they're wanting this cult of domesticity of they should be in the kitchen cleaning, hey babe, go make me a sandwich, that type of mentality. They want that to go away. However, that to a certain extent still exists somewhat. All right. Now this one, the Modern Liberation Movement, actually gains a significant victory in the Equal Pay Act. This is passed, and it basically says that if you have the same qualifications, regardless of your gender or sex, you will receive the same pay. So the Equal Pay Act there, okay? Now, once the Equal Pay Act is done, there still exists something, and it's called a glass ceiling. I like to give the example of put yourself into a room. We're going to brick wall it up. There's no way to get out. You don't have nothing to sit on. You're just standing there. And the ceiling above they put on top of you, it's made of glass, and there is all this money and wealth that you can get to, and you can see a better life, yet you have no possible means of achieving it. And that is a glass ceiling. It's basically meaning that women can see opportunities for promotion or for better pay in their jobs, yet they have no means of achieving it. Okay? In short, it's kind of sexist in a way because they are not allowing them. Okay? So then we have a second movement set up, and this one is still around today. It is called NOW, which stands for National Organization for Women. Their push is not just equal pay, but equal treatment across the board. This would mean that gender is a non-issue, wouldn't appear in a thing like that. One of the main women speaking up for that is Gloria Steinem. Now, they call themselves feminist, all right? And now if you watch something on a feminist, you see them as a short haircut, kind of masculine-looking woman. And that's maybe a misperception because look at Gloria Steinem. She is not that perception. So a feminist just basically means you are supporting feminine equality rights, etc. Now, Gloria Steinem also will create Ms. Magazine. And what this is it is to show the ideas of rebelling against this, becoming moving into the future, where are women trying to be, things of that nature, okay? Now, the big thing they start pushing for and is actually pushed into Congress is called the ERA, or the Equal Rights Amendment. And let's please pay attention because state test loves this type of stuff. The ERA would say this: equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. 100% gender equality across the board. It goes before Congress. It sits there. It does not get the 35, 36 states necessary to pass it. It's always short. Now, here's the big kicker. The person who more or less said stop the ERA were not males. They were anti-feminists who are female. Now, the anti-feminists tended to be of the old school, your grandma, your mom. And so again, this is modernism versus traditionalism, just like we had in the 1920s. And so the anti-feminist movement, their big problem was, if you go and do this, it's going to mess up the family role. It's going to mess up traditional standards, opening doors and manners and etiquette. And if you take a look around you as equality has happened, those kind of old etiquette, those old ways of the past are dissolving. And I mean, you actually see males and females fighting each other. And that's just kind of blowing my mind. I mean, there's people who said you shouldn't ever hit a woman under any circumstance. And there's people going, well, if they come at me, I'm going to come at them. So we have that problem there. Now, the lead speaker of this anti-feminist movement is Phyllis Schlafly. She said the feminist movement is not compatible with happiness. They are not for equality. They want to kill everything masculine. And what she's meaning by that is there would be no gender line. There would be, what does it take to be a good woman? We wouldn't be able to find it. A good man, we wouldn't be able to find it. It would just kind of be a blur, a person. And so that is the second sexual revolution in a nutshell. The next people we're going to talk about are another minority group of Native Americans as well as Latinos.